All right. So, we usually go deep on like global stuff, big picture things.
Sure.
But today we're switching gears a little bit. We're diving into something uh, a bit more, let's say, TMZ,
Okay.
but like with a purpose.
I like it.
We're talking about Usher and Diddy.
Oh, okay.
This whole like mentor-mentee relationship, but set against the backdrop of the music industry, specifically the 90s music scene.
Yeah.
And look, we've got some juicy excerpts from a Spanish language article
Okay.
that really kind of lays out their history.
Interesting.
So to set the stage, Usher and Diddy, two huge names in music.
Right. Absolutely. Legends.
But their story, their connection goes way back to the 90s.
And what's crazy is when you think about the 90s, especially Diddy's world, back then it was a wild time.
Oh, yeah.
So to think, like, Usher's just a kid, what, 13?
13 years old.
And he moves in with Diddy Puff Daddy at the time. Talk about a crash course in the music biz, right?
It's like the ultimate Puff Daddy flavor camp experience.
Yeah.
Except, maybe not something you'd put on a resume.
Definitely not your average internship.
No, not at all.
So what are we talking about here? What kind of inappropriate things did Usher see? I mean, he's hinted at it over the years, even on Howard Stern.
Right, exactly.
So what was it like?
Well, he's been pretty, careful not to, like, name names or get too specific.
Right.
But he's definitely said he saw some crazy things back then, which, given the whole scene at the time,
Right.
isn't totally surprising, right?
No, not at all. And it really gets you thinking those early experiences, good or bad, they stick with you.
Totally.
And for an artist, especially someone that young thrown into that world, you wonder how much it shapes their choices later on.
And it makes you think about Diddy's influence, right? Like, yeah, he was this mentor figure,
Yeah.
but he was also living this, over-the-top lifestyle. How much did that rub off on Usher?
And how much did he learn from that?
Right.
Both the good and the bad.
Exactly. And this is where it gets even more interesting because fast forward to today,
Mm-hmm.
Usher had this big concert in L.A. recently.
Yeah, I heard about that.
And of course, the questions about Diddy come up.
With his legal situation and all.
Exactly.
What'd he say?
Nothing.
Really?
Total silence.
Wow. I mean, after all this time, after everything they've been through, you'd think.
You'd think he'd say something. but-
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe he's protecting himself, public opinion and all that.
Or maybe it's loyalty, They go way back.
That's true. It's a long history.
Decades.
Mm-hmm.
And the music industry, it's a small world.
It really is. Everybody knows everybody.
So to say nothing, especially in this day and age when everyone's got an opinion,
It's deafening, that silence.
it is. It makes you
Yeah.
wonder what's going on behind the scenes.
Makes you think. Right.
It really does. So we have this, like, fascinating arc to their relationship, right? This young Usher thrown into the craziness of Diddy's world.
Mm.
And now, all these years later, he's navigating the fallout from that period.
It makes you think about legacy,
It really does.
and influence and how the things we're exposed to, especially early on, they shape us.
It makes you wonder, like, do those experiences, even the ones that maybe weren't the best, ultimately shape who we become?
Right. Or is it up to us to rise above it all?
Big questions, right?
Yeah.
Stuff to think about, especially the next time you're listening to some Big Ear Mace.
Right. Some classic 90s hip hop.